The clamp is one of those things that really changed how I started doing jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is supposed to be about smaller people being able to survive with bigger people. That's how we used to talk about it. And the clamp was one of those things where I learned it and I was like, oh, you know what? I am a smaller person. I can use this skill set, not only to just be defensive, but actually to become offensive and start to look to attack.
What's up guys, Giancarlo Bodoni here for another video, and today I have a very special guest on the channel. It's been a while since I've actually had a guest instructor on the channel. This is my good friend Brian Glick. Brian is one of John's old school black belts. He's kind of infamous in the jiu-jitsu world, and we've been training for the last few days. I actually did a video that's going to be on his channel as well. He's got a pretty big YouTube channel, so I'll leave the link to the channel and all his other content in the description. Brian is a very intricate and technical practitioner and a great instructor, and he has a lot of stuff that he's really good at, but in particular, I'm a big fan of his clamp guard, and so I asked him if he could show us some details to that position in this video. So yeah, take it away.
Thank you. Thanks so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah, so the clamp is something that I learned from our instructor, John Danaher. I learned that the elements of it a long time ago. I've always had to train with bigger people. I'm usually a smaller person in the room, not always, but a lot of times. And the clamp is one of those things that really changed how I started doing jiu-jitsu. And there are a lot of different entries to the clamp position, and you can work from half guard. Closed guard, is not a position that a lot of people work, although people are doing more no-gi now, like working to get to closed guard.
Yep.
But this is a very good place to begin. So like whenever we're inside someone's closed guard, this principle of inside position is always holding true. Generally, we like to have our arms on the inside of our partner's arms, and this is kind of like Jiu-Jitsu 101 stuff. Then we need something that's gonna allow us to unlock our guard so that we can keep space between us. One of the things about playing, especially no-gi, is because we don't have the handles to work with, it's hard sometimes to keep distance, and you get to the closed guard and you're not sure how you're gonna go on the offense. You can kind of like try to sit up and lock up kimuras and stuff, but everybody knows this, right?
Yep.
So we get the arms to the inside, then we're gonna look to scissor our legs here. And I know that I'm wearing these spats and he's wearing black, and some people will comment that they can't see my legs, sorry. But you can see here that the knees are now in front of our partner. And so as he goes to advance forward and put pressure, we have the ability of our two legs joined together to stop you from advancing, okay? And we have our hands on the inside, now we have our knees on the inside. How are we gonna get offensive with this? This is great for keeping someone away. Well, one thing we can do is perform a very simple knee elbow escape. All we're really gonna do is slip our knee and bring our knee through in front of our partner's bicep to our elbow on this side. Okay, then this knee is gonna go directly to the front of our partner's deltoid. That's gonna serve as a block here. So as he goes to advance forward, he's gonna find that this knee is in front. It's gonna make it more difficult for our partner to drive forward. Then the second leg is gonna slip through. It's gonna straighten out, and then it's gonna go around the corner, and it's gonna cover the rear part of our partner's deltoid here. So we have one leg in front, one leg behind, and now we're in the process of squeezing our knees together so that we can actually engage in kind of this clamping action. We're able to hold our partner in place. We can make it stronger by taking our top leg up, bringing our heel in front of our partner's deltoid here, and then connecting our knee and our heel. So now, even though we have kind of like, our partner's kind of still in our guard, we managed to unlock and get to a position where we can start to isolate an arm and isolate the head. Now we've got a couple of different choices depending on what our partner does. The most common situation here is often the person will hold this knee and try to pull this leg down in hopes of being able to come back forward and get back to the closed guard where they can start to look to stand up and all this stuff. Whenever we feel our partner reaching with his hand up towards our knee, we're gonna take a thumb grip here, just take our thumb inside our partner's four fingers. And remember, in jiu-jitsu, it's, you're not allowed to grab any 1, 2, or 3 fingers, but you can grab all 4. If your partner's holding tight here, you won't be able to pull down, but you can take your partner's grip backwards over your knee. And now you probably feel that it's a little bit like an Americana. So this hand is rotating out this way. You'll get into a little bit of like a battle here. Your partner wants to return their hand here, and you want to keep their arm out. In the process of this, you're just going to bring your knee through and just going to post your foot here in front of your partner's shoulder. Now, because we have our partner's hand controlled, even if he decides to retract it and you lose it, doesn't matter. It's time now to cross our feet behind our partner's back. We start with the trap triangle, and then from here you can go in and begin to lock up the triangle. So this is a way You know, a lot of times, like I was on the bottom and I would have a bigger person here and they would be standing up or pressuring or driving in. And it was just really difficult. You know, you're here, especially if you've got the gi on, like you're holding on tight. So this idea about first getting to the inside with our arms and then getting to the inside with our legs, I think was a big game changer. Now we're here, we have our partner gripping, and we saw we can strip our partner's hand off. Another common situation is your partner realizes that you're trying to clear this hand and they turn away from you. And so when our partner turns away from us, this is a cue for us to now move into omoplata. You can attack your partner regardless of your level of flexibility by bringing your knee towards your chest and tilting onto the side. Too often I think that people feel like they have to be really flexible for omoplata to bring the foot around in front. So we're gonna pass our leg through and then we're gonna straighten. From here, we're gonna extend our top leg out, and then we're gonna free our bottom leg. When you go to sit up here, it's pretty important that as you go to sit up, you use this pendulum action to bring your body up and you find control over your partner's back. We have Giancarlo's elbow here. We're gonna secure that elbow by pushing it down actually, and then covering it here with our two legs. So that as he goes to retract that arm, he finds it very difficult. Now from here, we establish a grip where we go 10 fingers behind our partner's, right in front of our partner's deltoid. And as your partner goes to roll from this position, you'll feel it's kind of unwieldy to do. Even if you do manage to hit a roll from here, it's this kind of awkward situation where you're almost like you're kind of on the back of your neck and your hips come up. And in this process, of course, we're looking to kind of heist up and finish omoplata. So between these two attacks, you know, this is a pretty common setup, triangle to omoplata or triangle to ugatami. It affords you a way of attacking, whether your partner's facing you or they're turning away from you. And yeah, so it's something that I started doing a long time ago when I first was taught it, and I'm still doing it now, and it seems to be, you know, helping me survive and beyond.
Yeah, I was super impressed when we rolled today about you got into that position a couple of times, and you were talking about how you utilize it in no-gi as a way to prevent people from pressuring forward into you. But one thing that I was actually really impressed with was I found it very difficult to pull away from it as well, even when you did start to go in for triangle. Can I ask a question on that position actually?
Sure,
Is that one thing, because we were going over clamp a couple weeks ago in class, and a common situation that I find is that people start to try to bring their head up, right, above yours. Do you have anything that you used to deal with?
I think that, you know, this is a question that actually people ask a lot. So a couple of things. So one way to proactively stop someone from doing that is to really exaggerate when you initially enter getting onto your side. So it's hard to control somebody's posture just through their arms, but you can actually do a pretty good job if you're really exaggerating getting onto your side. Now, that's not always possible, right? And so, like, especially if you know what's going on, you start to bring your head upright. So one thing that I found to be very effective is extending this knee and taking my head away from your head here. So if I stay square and try to pull you in, now you're often able to posture up and we lose the grip. So instead, once we get to this position, if I feel your head is coming up here, I'll usually try to anchor with the hand either behind the tricep, this is the best grip, or here by the wrist. So there's like kind of a limit on how far you can go. And then as I feel you going to extend up here, I'm taking my head away, the right foot's bridging, so like we're pushing up. And now, even though your head is rising here, it becomes difficult for you to totally escape the position.
I feel like I almost don't want to posture up all the way.
Yeah. And then we can start to attack this isolated arm. Kimura, omoplata, udigatami. But yeah, I think that one thing that helps people out the most is shifting out into a position where you're really on your side here. And then drawing the person through in this fashion. When people start to just bring the knee through like this, now they start to posture. And again, in a case like that, if I feel your posture, I'm really going to take my head away. That's always going to elongate this arm, and then we can go in and start to attack.
Awesome. Love that. Yeah, guys, so you have an instructional that goes over clamp and what's the name of it?
Under pressure.
Under pressure, yeah. So Brian has a couple of instructionals on BJJ Fanatics. I'll leave the links to those in the description. One of them goes over this stuff extensively, and I think that he's definitely one of the best instructors at teaching this. Yeah, we actually we filmed one of our rolls as well a little bit earlier today. So we'll be posting some of the rolling footage and maybe do some breakdown on that as well. So thanks so much, Brian. Again, we'll leave all the links in the description, his YouTube channel. Make sure you go subscribe. I also did a video for his channel, so that should be up shortly as well. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.